keeping those exercise habits in place, and just, you know, just to drive home a couple more points, because I want to shut down and get questions and answers if there are any. How do you get that exercise habit established? Well, you got to start doing it, right? And you can do it every day. You can do it every other day with these exercises. Get support from your family and friends. Okay? Get them to buy into the fact that you're trying to lose weight. Encourage them to do this stuff with you. Email each other and say, I did it, did you? Use guilt on them, whatever it takes. Okay? And get not just your family, but like I love when people get their kids involved. Okay? And no matter what it is, maybe you go on the bike ride with your kid or something like that. That kind of support and joint effort to help you lose weight is really going to help you get some success out of this whole thing. That's all I have prepared. I will absolutely take any questions that you have for the next several minutes until boredom sets in, I guess, right, Jenny?
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
I was listening to a guy on the radio, he's a doctor, talking about interval training. And he was talking about the difference between, what made me think of it was when you said about walking a mile in 15 minutes versus, running a mile in 7 minutes. It's basically the same thing, except you're doing it faster. What he said was that if you, I'll just use the treadmill because I can't remember all the stuff he was saying. If you were to walk on the treadmill for 45 minutes at a steady pace of, 3 miles an hour, you get a good workout, cardiovascular, blah, blah, blah. But it would be better for you cardio-wise because it burns more and all this other stuff if you were to walk at 3 miles and then walk at 3 miles an hour for 5 minutes and then run for a minute. And then walk for 5 and then run for 2. And then walk for 5 and then run for 3. Try, like you said, work up to it. How is, if you're still doing 45 minutes, how is that better? I mean, I know it's more challenging, but you're still only doing 45 minutes. But he said interval training, he said you'd be better off doing 2 minutes of interval training than you would be 15 minutes of leisurely walking.
Yeah. Probably, you were right, spot on. That last sentence is probably a little bit too, 2 minutes of interval training is probably not enough to help you. But everything up to that point was right on. In fact, here's your next presenter. Because that was described perfectly. I mean, that was great. Interval training, the concept basically is go at a moderate pace for a set period of time and then go at a highly intense pace for a given period of time. That could mean walking at 3 miles an hour and running for a minute and then walking at 3 miles. Or it could be walking at 3 miles an hour and then walking fast.
And he said as fast as you can go. Like
yeah.
He said if you were going to walk like, where you have your breath, you're breathless for 5 minutes, but then for a minute, and you're only going to do it for a minute, bust it really as hard as you can, and then go back to 3 miles.
Right. Yeah. So you can do that interval by running as hard as you can. You can find a hill and walk up that hill. Right. That'll get the heart rate going. But the idea is your body has to learn to operate at different heart rates because physiologically it does different things at different heart rates. If you set that standard heart rate all the way through your walk, you will burn calories, but by doing the intervals, you're teaching your body to operate at a little bit higher intensity and teaching it to recover a little bit faster. In general, over the course of that 45 minutes, by doing the intervals where it looks like this, and then up, you're going really hard, and then you come down, and you go up, and you're really hard. Over the course of that time, you're probably going to cover more distance doing the interval training, and because you're taking your heart rate up higher, you're burning more calories at that higher heart rate. So by adding in those intervals, you're basically, that period of time, you're really increasing your calorie burn. The other thing with interval training is your post-workout calorie burn is higher. So actually, when you get off your treadmill, even if you're just walking at 3 miles an hour, and you get off the treadmill, your body doesn't stop burning calories at that moment. There's actually a little curve that goes down afterwards, okay? After interval training, you burn more calories after the workout than you do during the workout. It's the best way to do cardio, by far. So doing intervals is really a great way to go. Did that answer everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you suggest for bad knees? Like all that stuff we were shown. I mean, I could probably press on the wall, but I have no meniscus in one knee.
Yeah. Yeah, that can be a challenge. How is walking for you? Is that
I can walk,
challenging?
I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, there's always options to sort of soften things up. Even with the squat, even not going all the way down to a seated position is possible. You may find, if you do sit down and stand up, that you strengthen the muscles in the leg to help it, okay? But you do need to be careful about not damaging it anymore. Biking is, a stationary bike or even a bike outside is gonna be softer on the knees than a lot of pounding type activities, okay? But you can also increase your cardio with your arms as well. So some of the motions I showed with the squat of just like this and this. Okay, if you get your arms going, you could, you get a pair of boxing gloves and punch a little bag, or, somebody at the house who's really getting on your nerves, right? And just throw those punches in the air. That will get your heart rate up because you're moving without having to focus on your knees. So there's always options to keep those. Yes?
I have an exercise glue, it's like 5 pounds.
Mhm.
Would that help someone like her with the knees, so she wouldn't have to do calves?
Yeah, swimming's a great alternative as well.
It's like a 5 pound.
Hula hoop it doesn't even have to be a 5-pound one. A hula hoop is
Yeah.
cardio, flat out cardio.
Yeah.
You're trying to bounce that freaking thing around.
Tell me about
It's
it.
cardio.
I have one of those that does this. Took those some time to do.
Yes.
Miniature trampolines.
Yeah.
How does that, how does bouncing up and down help anything?
Well, it's so the question is the miniature trampolines. It's a way to move. I guess my theme tonight is that I don't want to talk about the gazelle. I don't really want to talk about the little electrodes you touch to your stomach and shock yourself into having a six-pack. How did that work for you, Jay? Did you get a six-pack?
No, I didn't get a six-pack on that,
No? I don't want to talk about the bender. I mean, some of them are good and some of them are not. But you could spend a year's salary buying exercise equipment.
And
the
most of
point
them are
is,
collecting dust.
if you don't use it, then why invest in it? And the exercises I'm showing you tonight, and I looked down at the sheet and I noticed that I did give you one that requires a band, the row, which I didn't realize to put on there. But that's about a $10 band. But the exercise I'm showing you tonight, you could do anywhere. So you get onto the shore, you don't have an excuse. You travel for work and you're in a hotel room, even if they don't have a gym, you don't have an excuse. You're at home with the kids,